Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Yes, it is a Health Tuesday, which means we have to empower you with the best in knowledge. Now, in South Africa, millions of families are feeling the pinch, and often food is the first thing that suffers at the end of the day. But smart nutrition doesn't always mean expensive ingredients or even complicated meals.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Mzansi, we got you covered, especially as you feel the pinch right now. So today, let's shine a light on something that empowers families every day, and that's making sure everyone can eat healthy and even on a small budget. So we brought in some superstars joining us to share practical tips. We've got Stephanie Rouliard in the building, as well as Carrie Seedy, who are both registered dietitians who are passionate about accessible nutrition. We are absolutely here for it. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. How are we doing?
Thanks so much. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we good?
Very exciting. Yeah, very good.
Are we healthy?
Oh, we hope so. I love those two words that you mentioned, accessible nutrition. I feel like that needs to be in a lot more people's vocabularies because anytime we think healthy food, we're thinking number one, it probably doesn't taste great. And secondly, it's inaccessible.
Can't afford it.
I can't afford
everyone
it.
complains
it's too
about
expensive.
that.
100%. And you know, in South Africa, we often feel the pinch. Food prices are on the rise as well as everything else. And sometimes we're struggling to make it at the end of the month. But why is it so important to sort of use our budgets in the right way and think about nutrition a bit more smartly, especially today? I don't know who wants to take that one first. Steph, shall we come to you?
Yeah, I think you're so right. I think so many families feel like they're caught between a rock and a hard place, feeling like they have to compromise on nutrition when they're trying to make ends meet. And I think how we define smart nutrition is really important.
Right.
And smart nutrition isn't about fancy food. It's not about, you know, having to escalate your budget hugely, but it's about making the most around what is actually accessible to you. So from planning to what you're purchasing, what you're prioritizing is key, and how you're reusing and combining those ingredients to best extract the nutritional value. And so there is a way in which we can do that, and that's why I'm excited to chat today, so that we can give people practical tips to apply it.
It just slightly opens the door and says, come inside, I got something good for you. Okay, let's talk about some practical tips. Like, how can we make our food budget, and especially a small food budget, stretch? Are there ways to actually bring this to life?
Yeah, 100%. I think the main thing is just pre-planning and prepping, and I think a lot of social media is also focused on, like, you know, sort of like batch cooking and meal prepping, which is very important. I think when you go to the shops, it's also important not to shop when you're hungry, because then one tends to deviate from your shopping list.
Such a good tip, honestly. I've tried it. Don't. You lose all your money.
And then it's also important, you know, to, when you're pre-planning and that kind of thing, also take advantage of, like, sort of your 2-for-1 specials and that kind of thing. Buying in bulk helps. Always buy sort of seasonally available produce. It's definitely cheaper when sort of fruit and veg are sort of seasonal at the time rather than out of season. Also, things like fruit and veg, I find if you're going the frozen route, a lot of people are worried about the nutritional quality, and it actually retains a lot of the nutrition. It's only, most studies look at about a 1% difference. So I wouldn't
freezing gets the thumbs up.
Yeah, 100%. So going for your frozen fruit and veg is perfectly fine. It lasts longer. So there are ways to go, you know, improve longevity in terms of fruit and veg, and also more cost effective.
I think when you say cost effective, people's ears just went up. They said, yes, that is, she's talking to me.
Please.
Maybe you could also add to the list, especially when it comes to these bulk ingredients that we can buy, to make our penny go a little bit further at the end of the month. Some people come from big families and they're wondering exactly how they can do that.
Exactly, and I think everyone should be have their notepad out and start making the grocery list now.
Hey, listen up, Mzansi, let's go.
So I think it's really important to look at good quality protein sources, because especially going into winter, we're worried about our immunity. We need all the right building blocks to be able to support that immune system. A couple nutritional stars, I would say, would be things like eggs, because they're high protein. Absolutely. Don't forget about eating the yolk. It contains beautiful nutrients.
I like this one.
Beautiful nutrients, vitamin D, B12, choline for energy, for brain health, for supporting that strength throughout the day and in the season. And then food that is often overlooked would be your tin fish. So sardines, pilchards. Exactly. Got beautiful omega-3 fatty acids, easy to use. And some of them are enriched due to the bones with vitamin D and calcium, which are important. And then something that is critical and should always be in your pantry would be your legumes and pulses. We know that legumes are high in fiber. They're important for that gut health. We know gut health is essential to support that immune system.
Yeah.
It's an easy way to bulk up meals. And if you do combine those legumes or pulses with the right kind of starch, we can get a complete protein picture. So it's an easy way to also fortify your diet with
Sneaky amino acids.
all those
Nice.
different amino acids and protein building blocks, which are important in the season. And then you want to be thinking about a lot of your dark pigmented veggies, so things like spinach or your dark greens, which are easily available. Your orange vegetables, vitamin A and C, are essential to be including into.
I hate to ask this, but are we saying in the world of fruit, the darker the better?
Yeah.
Is that where we're going?
As a rule of thumb, there are exceptions, but you're wanting to think as much dark pigmented fruit and veg.
I like that as a
possible.
guide, almost alluding to the content of it and the
Nutritional
depth of
content.
that. Very cool, and I'm loving this. I hope you wrote those down. Well, those are some fantastic tips, Steph. Carrie, maybe we can talk about this mindset that we're in, where I think food has become this like experience every time. We're like expecting an experience from it and a moment and something special always, and it's not always just nutrition, which I think it could also be. So something like eating last night's food might also be a problem, because it's like, that's yesterday's, it's old news. I want something fresh, I want something new. That's not necessary, right? We can't eat leftovers. It's not bad for us. It's possibly a good thing.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously in terms of stretching your budget as well. So repurposing food the next day, very important.
Yeah.
So like say you make chicken for dinner the night before, you can turn it into like toast sandwiches for the kids the next day, or wraps, or
Great.
be healthy and put it into a salad, you know. So, and there are a lot of ways, even with leftover veggies. So next morning, make yourself a frittata and an omelette, you know. Add your veggies to like stir fries, soups, stews. So there's a lot of ways to use leftovers that, besides discarding it. you know.
Yeah.
Reinventing them.
Yeah.
I like that idea about a frittata.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
getting me hungry.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you, ladies. We're going to continue this conversation in just a little
Sage
bit, but we're
advice.
going to park it there because a lot of information to go on in. We'll continue the chat about budget and smart nutrition in just a little bit.
Yeah, for now though, I think it's time for us to usher in someone that is all about food and good food at that. It's Taste Master Season 6 contestant. Let's check her out.